Summer 1941. Paris lies under the cold shadow of Nazi occupation. On a deserted street, a woman with a limp, a wooden prosthetic leg clicking against cobblestones, slips past German patrols, a bundle of secret documents clutched tightly in her hands. Her gaze flickers between windows, alleys, and soldiers, calculating every step. How could a woman with a disability, moving through one of the most dangerous cities in Europe, become the most feared spy the Gestapo never caught? In this story, the hidden truths of Virginia Hall's daring missions will finally be revealed. Virginia Hall was far from an ordinary agent. Born in Baltimore, educated in France and England, fluent in multiple languages, she carried a restless curiosity and a fierce determination that set her apart. After losing part of her leg in a hunting accident, she could have retreated into a quiet life, but instead, she volunteered for the Special Operations Executive, the secret British organization recruiting spies to support occupied France. Hall's missions were legendary. She established intelligence networks, coordinated arms drops, and trained local resistance fighters, all while moving with a limp that might have betrayed her, but never did. Her ingenuity and courage allowed her to evade the Gestapo repeatedly, earning her the nickname the Limping Lady in German files, a moniker that concealed the deadly threat she posed. Hundreds of lives were saved, countless operations succeeded, and yet her story remained buried in archives, overshadowed by male counterparts. This is the tale of how a woman, underestimated by enemies and often doubted by allies, became one of the most effective and relentless operatives of World War II. Paris, 1940. The City of Light lay under the cold shadow of Nazi occupation. Streets that once hummed with life now stood empty, haunted by the presence of German patrols and the silent fear of citizens. Banners of the Third Reich draped across squares, casting dark shadows on cobblestones, while soldiers monitored every corner, every alley, every building. Behind closed doors, whispers of resistance circulated cautiously, but any misstep could mean death. For the fledgling French resistance, the struggle was immediate and immense. Fragmented networks, scarce resources, and the constant threat of discovery. Virginia Hall was born in Baltimore, Maryland, to an intellectual family that encouraged curiosity and learning. From a young age, she demonstrated a keen interest in languages, culture, and the wider world. Her education took her to France and England, where she became fluent in French and German, and developed a subtle understanding of European society, a skill that would later prove invaluable. But a hunting accident in her early adulthood cost her part of her left leg, leaving her with a wooden prosthesis. Many might have retreated from adventure, yet Hall's spirit remained unbowed. She saw not limitation, but opportunity. By the summer of 1940, as France fell to German forces, Virginia witnessed the grim reality firsthand. Civilians under strict control, resistance fighters forced to hide, and intelligence networks struggling to survive. She understood the urgency. The Special Operations Executive, Britain's secret organization, was recruiting operatives to support occupied territories. SOE sought individuals of exceptional intelligence, adaptability, and courage. Hall's multilingualism, cultural insight, and unwavering resolve made her ideal, despite initial skepticism over her prosthetic leg. Training in England was merciless. Recruits learned weapons handling, demolition, radio operations, cryptography, and survival under extreme conditions. Hall quickly distinguished herself. Her analytical mind, attention to detail, and relentless determination stood out. Every drill, every exercise, every simulated infiltration was preparation for the shadows of occupied France, where a single error could be fatal. She absorbed lessons on stealth, observation, and improvisation, each one sharpening her instincts for real-world danger. What made Hall exceptional was not just skill but mindset. She grasped that her mission would demand more than bravery. It would require constant vigilance, ingenuity, and the capacity to act decisively in life-or-death situations. She understood that the streets of Paris, with their silent buildings and watchful windows, would become a labyrinth of peril, and that the line between survival and exposure was razor-thin. Every step, every interaction, every choice carried weight far beyond what most could imagine. Hall's presence in France was not merely operational. It was symbolic. A young American woman, navigating enemy-controlled cities, building networks, and transmitting intelligence, embodied defiance in the face of overwhelming odds. Her education, physical resilience, and mental acuity combined to forge an operative capable of influencing the trajectory of resistance efforts. The backdrop of occupied France, with its tense streets, wary citizens, and ever-present threat of Gestapo discovery, set the stage for a story where intelligence, courage, and perseverance would be tested to their absolute limits. In this crucible, Virginia Hall would transform. From a young woman with ambition and a wooden leg, she would become a figure whose every move carried significance, shaping the survival of countless resistance fighters and influencing strategic operations across the region. Her journey through the shadowed streets of Paris, through the countryside of Burgundy, and into the hearts of clandestine networks would redefine what one person could accomplish in the most perilous of times. As Virginia Hall stepped into occupied France, she quickly realized that training alone could not prepare her for the dangers she would face. The French resistance was fragile, scattered, and operating under constant threat. Each street, each alley, each seemingly ordinary glance could conceal Gestapo eyes. Every step became a calculation. Every decision carried the weight of life or death. Hall had to master the art of moving unseen, of reading subtle signs, and of blending into shadows, all while ensuring her actions served the larger mission. Her wooden, prosthetic leg, a visible reminder of her accident, posed both a physical and psychological challenge. Enemy reports would later dub her the Limping Lady, underestimating her completely. Yet Hall turned this so-called weakness into an advantage. By projecting vulnerability, she lured suspicion away from her true intentions, moving with a deliberate, almost deceptive calm. Each measured step, each subtle adjustment, allowed her to traverse the most dangerous streets, cross heavily patrolled areas, and reach clandestine meetings without detection. It was a mastery of both physical presence and psychological manipulation, an art few could achieve. Tension was compounded by the skepticism of some allies. Many questioned whether a woman with a disability could carry out high-risk intelligence work. The doubt was an invisible pressure, a challenge Hall had to overcome daily. But rather than falter, she harnessed it, transforming suspicion into motivation. Every mission completed, every network secured, every intelligence report successfully transmitted became proof that her determination and intellect could defy expectations. Her earliest missions were fraught with near misses. Hall had to coordinate with resistance fighters to distribute weapons, relay vital intelligence, and organize covert communications, all under the constant gaze of Nazi patrols. On one occasion, a sudden inspection threatened to expose her contact point in Lyon. She reacted instantly, moving sensitive materials, creating diversions, and ensuring that her network remained uncompromised. Each moment tested her ability to remain calm under life-threatening pressure, to anticipate enemy moves, and to adapt in seconds. The streets of occupied France became a living chessboard, and Hall always stayed several moves ahead. The Gestapo's relentless pursuit added yet another layer of peril. As her intelligence operations began disrupting German plans, the enemy intensified their efforts to capture her. Hall had to shift identities frequently, relocate safe houses, and maintain a delicate balance between operational success and personal survival. A single mistake could unravel the entire network. Yet, despite constant surveillance and the omnipresent threat of betrayal, she persevered, demonstrating ingenuity, courage, and an almost uncanny ability to elude capture. Moral dilemmas further compounded her challenges. Decisions had to be made in split seconds. Save a comrade and risk the mission, or protect the network and leave others exposed. Hall lived with the burden of such choices constantly, weighing the value of human lives against strategic necessity. Each success carried a hidden toll, a reminder that heroism in war is seldom clean or easy. In the shadows of occupied France, Virginia Hall ceased to be an ordinary woman. She became a symbol of resilience, intelligence, and unyielding courage. Every narrow escape, every covert operation, every calculated risk demonstrated that a single individual, armed with determination, wit, and an unbreakable spirit, could influence the fate of countless others. The stakes had never been higher, the dangers never more immediate, and the pressure never more intense. It was within this crucible that Hall's genius, bravery, and indomitable will were forged, preparing her for the extraordinary feats that would define her legacy. By the time Virginia Hall had established herself in France, she was no longer a fledgling operative. She had become the cornerstone of a living, breathing intelligence network that spanned Paris, Lyon, and the surrounding countryside. From the very first weeks, Hall began forging critical contacts with local resistance cells, setting up secure channels to relay information to London, and training recruits in the art of clandestine operations. Every assignment demanded a seamless combination of intellect, vigilance, and adaptability. A single misstep, a fleeting glance from a German patrol, could mean immediate capture or death. One of Hall's most remarkable strategies involved turning her prosthetic leg into an asset. The Germans had labeled her the Limping Lady, assuming weakness, underestimating her potential. She used that perception to her advantage, moving through occupied zones with apparent vulnerability, deceiving enemy agents while executing missions that required precision, audacity, and careful timing. Hall would traverse forests, cross fields, and scale walls to reach weapon drops, reconnaissance points, or clandestine meetings, all without leaving a trace. Her mastery of languages, cultural nuance, and situational awareness allowed her to navigate areas where even seasoned male operatives might hesitate. Beyond her physical operations, Hall's leadership was pivotal. She carefully selected reliable members for her network, instructing them on secure communication methods, radio operation, and the subtleties of evading German surveillance. Each training session was meticulously planned. Light, sound, timing, and location were orchestrated to reduce risk and preserve secrecy. Thanks to these measures, the network thrived, expanding rapidly while maintaining its integrity. Hall's ability to organize and coordinate ensured that operations could continue even if parts of the network were compromised. Every action she took left a tangible mark. Reports document the number of arms successfully distributed, resistance fighters trained, and intelligence reports transmitted. All remarkable feats considering the constant danger. Even as she moved relentlessly between tasks, Hall never allowed fatigue or fear to dictate her actions. The streets of occupied France became her theater of strategy, and her mind, a battlefield where every step and decision had profound consequences. The combination of intellect, courage, and adaptability made her not just effective, but exceptional, a woman whose very presence altered the dynamics of the local resistance. However, these successes also carried immense risk. Gestapo agents intensified their search as Hall's operations began to disrupt German plans. She constantly changed identities, relocated safe houses, and devised contingency plans to protect both herself and her network. The psychological strain was enormous, yet she remained focused. Each narrow escape, each delivery of critical intelligence, was a testament to her ingenuity and resilience. By the end of this period, Virginia Hall had evolved into more than a spy. She was the architect of resistance strategy, a mentor to local fighters, and a force of nature that German intelligence could neither predict nor contain. Her actions laid the foundation for the extraordinary missions and high-stakes operations that would soon define her legend. Once her network was established, Virginia Hall took on increasingly dangerous missions, each requiring flawless execution. She became responsible for transmitting intelligence about German troop movements, supply depots, and upcoming operations. Every report, every journey, carried the weight of survival for countless resistance members. The stakes were immense. One misstep could unravel the network and result in immediate capture. During a mission in rural Burgundy, Hall had to navigate open fields under moonlight while German patrols moved nearby. Every footstep on gravel, every breath was measured and deliberate. The tension was palpable, each second a test of nerves, intuition, and precision. Hall was not merely a courier of information. She was a strategist. She planned sabotage missions, coordinated local resistance actions, and ensured the safety of civilians whenever possible. Her foresight and intelligence allowed her to orchestrate operations that confounded German forces. The paradox of her presence, a woman with a wooden leg quietly manipulating the fate of entire regions, made her an almost mythical figure. The combination of strategic acumen and physical courage created a profound effect on the resistance, elevating morale and instilling confidence that critical missions could succeed despite overwhelming danger. Direct encounters with Gestapo agents intensified the tension. On more than one occasion, Hall was nearly discovered at a safe house during clandestine meetings. She reacted with instantaneous precision, relocating documents, creating distractions, and maintaining the illusion of safety. The cinematic details of these encounters, sliding along shadowed walls, bending low under dim light, exchanging signals with silent gestures, illustrate her composure under extreme pressure. Each successful evasion reinforced her reputation and ensured the survival of critical information and personnel. The outcomes of Hall's actions were extraordinary. Hundreds of resistance fighters received weapons and training, crucial intelligence reached London, and sabotage missions disrupted German operations across France. Her leadership and courage not only preserved her network, but also multiplied its impact. Allies came to recognize her as a central figure in French resistance strategy, while her enemies, though aware of her exploits, could not capture her. Every operation she led, every calculated risk she took, demonstrated a remarkable blend of intellect, audacity, and physical resilience. Yet the psychological toll was immense. Hall faced continuous stress, the burden of life or death decisions, and moral dilemmas. Choosing between protecting her network or rescuing a comrade, between operational success or civilian safety. These challenges tested her humanity and fortitude in ways that went far beyond mere survival. The combination of intelligence, courage, and adaptability ensured that, even under relentless threat, Hall continued to operate effectively, solidifying her legacy as one of the most formidable operatives of World War II. By 1942, the Gestapo had fully realized the threat Virginia Hall posed. Reports identified her as the Limping Lady, a figure capable of influencing entire resistance networks. German forces intensified their search, deploying specialized units throughout Paris, Lyon, and the rural countryside, determined to capture her at any cost. The streets became a deadly chessboard, and every movement could trigger catastrophe. Hall's life depended on vigilance, strategy, and an unwavering calm under pressure. One critical mission brought her into the heart of Lyon, a city heavily patrolled and crawling with enemy intelligence. Hall was tasked with delivering highly sensitive intelligence regarding troop movements and planned operations, while coordinating the distribution of weapons to resistance cells. The tension was cinematic, moonlight slicing through narrow alleyways, shadows stretching across walls, and every footstep carefully measured to avoid alerting German patrols. Her prosthetic leg, once seen as a vulnerability, now lent her movements an unpredictable rhythm, further deceiving the enemy. During a near discovery at a key safe house, Hall demonstrated her extraordinary composure. Sensing Gestapo agents closing in, she immediately relocated critical documents, created misleading trails, and guided her contacts to alternate locations. Every decision was a delicate balance between operational success and survival. Hall's ingenuity allowed her to manipulate her environment, turning darkness into cover and enemy expectations into blind spots. These moments of tension, climbing over walls, sliding silently along shadowed streets, exchanging subtle signals with her network, created a narrative that reads like a suspense thriller, yet every detail was rooted in historical fact. Hall's operations had far-reaching consequences. The intelligence she delivered enabled British forces to anticipate German strategies, plan sabotage operations, and protect resistance members across France. Hundreds of lives were saved, and critical missions succeeded due to her precise coordination and tactical insight. She transformed ordinary streets and hidden rooms into arenas of strategic mastery, proving that intellect and courage could outweigh brute force. The paradox of a woman with a wooden leg, manipulating entire operations while evading the most formidable intelligence agency in Europe, highlighted the extraordinary nature of her achievements. The stakes escalated as Hall faced direct confrontation with Gestapo units determined to capture her. Each encounter demanded split-second decisions to risk exposure for vital information or preserve the network secrecy. Her actions required flawless execution under immense pressure, blending psychological insight, physical skill, and strategic planning. The cinematic tension of these encounters, Hall crouching in shadows, moving silently across moonlit streets, calculating every step, underscored both the peril she faced and the brilliance of her tactics. Despite the constant threat, Hall's presence inspired those around her. Resistance fighters gained confidence, knowing that a single individual, armed with determination and intellect, could alter the course of their operations. The high-stakes environment, the ever-present danger, and the critical importance of her intelligence were combined to create a narrative of suspense, courage, and ingenuity. Each mission reinforced the legend of Virginia Hall, an operative whose audacity and skill were unmatched, whose actions shaped the outcome of countless operations, and whose presence in occupied France became a symbol of resilience and defiance. As the climax of her story reaches its peak, one question hangs in the air. How could a woman, navigating the shadows of Paris with a prosthetic leg, outwit some of the most relentless enemies of the era, maintain a sprawling intelligence network, and save countless lives? The answer lies in her unmatched combination of courage, intellect, and adaptability, setting the stage for the next chapter. 7. Outcome and consequences, where the results of her extraordinary efforts and the cost of her heroism are revealed. The relentless efforts of Virginia Hall did not go unnoticed by her allies. The intelligence she transmitted and the networks she built played a crucial role in sustaining the French resistance and shaping Allied strategy. Her coordination of sabotage operations disrupted German supply lines, delayed troop movements, and directly contributed to the success of missions that would save countless lives. Hall had transformed from a lone agent into a pivotal force whose actions resonated across occupied France. Yet, the outcomes were not solely operational. Hall's courage and ingenuity inspired those around her. Resistance fighters, witnessing a woman with a prosthetic leg navigate enemy territory with apparent ease and audacity, drew confidence and resolve from her example. The networks she trained became more resilient, more self-reliant, and more capable of carrying out missions independently. Her presence elevated the morale of the resistance and provided a tangible symbol of hope in a time dominated by fear. The personal cost of Hall's endeavors was immense. Living under constant threat, she faced the physical strain of long journeys, the psychological toll of life-or-death decisions, and the moral weight of choosing between operational success and the safety of comrades or civilians. Despite these pressures, she never wavered. Every decision she made balanced strategic necessity with ethical consideration, highlighting not only her effectiveness, but also her humanity in the midst of war's brutal calculus. Recognition came slowly. Post-war, Hall received accolades from Britain and the United States, including the Distinguished Service Cross, the only civilian woman so honored by the U.S. military during World War II. Yet, for decades, her name remained largely unknown outside military and intelligence circles. Her story, buried in archives and overshadowed by male counterparts, represented the broader pattern of women whose extraordinary contributions to the war were overlooked, despite their undeniable impact. Hall's legacy is measured both in operational success and in the lives she preserved. The networks she created endured beyond her direct involvement, aiding in the eventual liberation of France. The intelligence she supplied helped guide strategic decisions at the highest levels, altering the course of local and regional conflicts. But perhaps more importantly, she left a symbolic legacy, a testament to the power of intellect, courage, and perseverance. Hall demonstrated that even under the harshest conditions, a single individual, underestimated and constrained by physical limitations, could change the trajectory of history. As the war ended, Virginia Hall returned to a quieter life, yet the magnitude of her contributions remained. Her story reminds us that heroism often exists in the shadows, far from the public eye, and that acts of courage, intelligence, and moral fortitude can ripple across history in ways that outlast the recognition they initially receive. Her accomplishments were extraordinary not only for their strategic impact, but for the way they exemplified the potential of human resilience and ingenuity in the face of unimaginable adversity. Virginia Hall's journey transcended mere espionage. It became a testament to the extraordinary capabilities of the human spirit. From a young woman with a prosthetic leg navigating the dangers of occupied France, she emerged as a symbol of courage, intelligence, and resilience. Her transformation was not simply tactical, but deeply personal. The challenges she faced forged a woman whose determination could defy societal expectations, physical limitations, and the relentless pressures of war. Her legacy is both operational and symbolic. On the strategic level, the intelligence she gathered, the network she built, and the mission she orchestrated contributed directly to Allied success in France, enabling countless acts of resistance, sabotage, and survival. Hall demonstrated that one individual, no matter how underestimated, could create ripple effects capable of altering the course of history. Yet her influence extends beyond these concrete results. She embodies the quiet, unheralded heroism of women whose efforts, though often overlooked, were vital to the broader war effort. Cinematically, her story captivates through its paradoxes. A limping woman feared by the Gestapo, an American in foreign lands shaping resistance strategy, a figure whose physical vulnerability concealed immense power. The tension, the ingenuity, the courage, all coalesce into a narrative that challenges our understanding of strength and heroism. Hall's life prompts reflection on the nature of individual impact, how intellect, daring, and moral conviction can overcome both physical limitations and institutional constraints. In remembering Virginia Hall, we honor not only the specific victories she achieved, but the broader principles she represents. That courage and resourcefulness, when exercised with clarity and purpose, can reshape destinies. Her story is a call to recognize the hidden contributions, the unheralded acts of bravery, and the quiet figures whose influence resonates far beyond their immediate sphere. History may have overlooked her for decades, but the truth of her impact endures, a lasting legacy of ingenuity, courage, and unyielding resolve. Her journey closes with a question that lingers long after the narrative ends. How many more Virginia Halls remain unseen in history, whose courage and intellect shaped the world in silence? The answer challenges us to look deeper, to honor the uncelebrated, and to remember that true heroism often resides in the shadows.